It's another Isekai video, which means it's time to remind you about my text RPG at play.isekaigen.com. There's a promo code in the pinned comment for those who want free credits to play for a whole day for free. But enough of that. Today, it's about getting reincarnated, going to school, and getting girls, which is the favorite trope of every Isekai anime. Here are 10 romance Isekai school anime you must watch. Let's go. Let's kick things off with a villainess, because these girls need to always visit some kind of academy. This follows Yumiella Dolkness, a noble reincarnated with memories of her past life, who realizes she's the hidden boss of an otame RPG called Light Magic in the Hero. She's marked by dark hair and rare dark magic, and because of that, she's feared by everyone around her. So instead of dealing with social anxiety, she goes up and starts grinding, and by the time she goes to the academy, she's level 99.
あなた次男だから家を継がなくていいでしょ。
養子は嫌だ。
The show totally fakes you out by acting like it'll follow the usual script, but it actually does something totally different. I know you usually hear that a lot in Isekai recommendations, but come on! We got a level 99 villainess who hates otame guys. That's novelty right there. Yumiella dealing with these annoying prince types and becoming unparalleled besties with the dragon-loving girl feels fresh and super funny. Watching Patrick not run away from her and trying to figure out her wild thinking is honestly sweet, and overall, you got some nice, wholesome isekai romance.
いや、そういやそうなんだけど。
最低。
Time for some Attack on Titan level apocalypse. Humanity's been grounded. Literally, after massive magical armored insects made Earth uninhabitable, humans retreated to floating cities, relying on some elite wizard bros to fight back. Here, we meet Kanata Age, once celebrated as the Black Master Swordsman, now branded a traitor. He got one shot at redemption, coaching Team E601. 3 girls with tons of personal history.
人の話を聞けよ。
Just like every isekai, it's obviously the girls who are going to carry the show on the back. There's Mizora, a leader who can't lead, Lichty, who's too shy to function, and Riko, a self-proclaimed goddess who's entirely self-taught. The plot hits every possible cliche. Struggle, improve, fight big bad, win. But once a wise man said, it's not the plot that matters, but the characters we saw along the way. The comedy lands well enough to carry the slower moments, and watching a disgraced swordsman whip 3 disaster students into shape is pretty fun.
何すんのよ、バカ。
お前が俺の前で泣くからさ。
30 years ago, the discovery of salmon syndrome sent thousands of young people tumbling into fantasy worlds, with a few lucky guys returning home carrying magical abilities. Akatsuki Osawa, the so-called rogue hero, is one of those people, except he also brought back Miui, the Demon King's daughter, disguised as his little sister. The two enroll in Babel, a school specifically built for interdimensional travelers, where they must navigate a hostile student council and a secret mystery.
真の勇者か。欲しいな。
The main character is genuinely the star here. Akatsuki isn't just another overpowered protagonist standing around looking cool. He actively shoulders everyone's burdens without expecting anything back, bends rules when something is more important is at stake, and somehow manages to be perverted and honorable at the same time. Yes, it has that old school isekai cliche vibe, and season 1's main story drags a tiny bit, but the setting is pretty cool, and for once, we follow a Demon King's daughter instead of the Demon King.
力の象徴たる紋章の翼竜我が剣に従い飛翔せよバイバーン
Lux, a former prince of the fallen Acadia Empire, accidentally walks into a girl's bathing area and catches the new princess, Lise Charte, off guard. Yep, it's the good old cliche again, folks. She challenges him to a drag ride duel where ancient mechanical combat suits called drag rides decide the winner. Lux was once the strongest drag knight around, but now carries the title weakest undefeated because he flat out refuses to attack.
当てにさせてもらうぞ没落王子
Yes, there's this secretly OP guy. Yes, there's all the girls' academy, and yes, this screams generic harem isekai bait on the surface. But you know what's good? It promises that and delivers. You want a harem? Well, here's a harem straight in your face. Apart from that, the drag ride lore and Lux's backstory has a fallen prince usually give the show some decent weight. Sure, every harem stereotype shows up, but the girls each have interesting backstories that make you actually care about them.
我が輩の孫になってくれないか。実は我が輩独り身でね、ずーっと憧れだったんだ。孫を持つのが。
14-year-old Iruma Suzuki has spent his whole life being exploited by his deadbeat parents, work at jobs no kid should have to. Things take a wild turn when they literally sell him to a demon named Sullivan. Surprisingly, Sullivan just wants a grandson, so he enrolls Iruma into Babel's, a demon school. Iruma desperately tries to blend in, but Sullivan happens to be the school chairman, and everyone already expects Iruma to become the next Demon King.
勝手に女性の髪を触るというのはさすがにぶしつけかなと。
よく言った。
I know, a lot of people call this show generic, but man, it is so refreshing to see an isekai school anime where the guy doesn't go full OP, and I almost skipped it entirely. Biggest mistake I almost made. I know, the romance and the whole Amiri stuff take a backseat, but when it hits, it's pretty wholesome. Iruma's comedic timing, his dramatic expressions, the supporting cast constantly stealing scenes, it all works together so well, and that makes this anime so much better.
命令すら通じないなんて犬以下だわ
おい、色仕掛けで何しよってんだ。それにお前誰だよ。
あーうるさい
Luis can't cast a single spell without blowing something up, earning her the nickname Luis the Zero. When a summoning ritual goes sideways, she accidentally pulls Saito Hiraga from our world into hers, making him her familiar, basically her personal servant. He's scrubbing her clothes and eating off the floor while she waves her wand around uselessly. But this guy has a brand in his hand, and that's a big plot twist.
それにルイズだって。
おやすみなさい
This show is trash, but this is also one of those shows that just hooks you and won't let go. Yeah, the harem and ecchi stuff occasionally gets in the way of that, but what could be deeper character moments and Luis beating Saito senselessly every episode gets old. But everything after the Queen arc makes this so addictive. I'm not saying it's addictive the way Code Geass, Full Metal Alchemist, or any other show is addictive. It's addictive the way Domestic Girlfriend is addictive.
だよほっぺだけどそんで見せたくっそかわいい
Now this is a surprisingly sneaky add-on to the list, and I spent some time wondering if to put it here. It's part real life, part isekai. The real life part is the school part. Broadcasting club member Shihono won't shut up about Magikoi, an otame game where the villainess named Lisalette is doomed to a tragic end despite being secretly sweet and hopelessly in love with her own fiance, Prince Sigvald. When Kobayashi drags her childhood hero, Aoto Endo, into playing it, something wild happens. Sigvald can actually hear them. Now they got to avoid a visual novel bad ending.
なるほど。そこは。
リーゼロッテ様
This show does something genuinely fresh. No isekai nonsense, just two dorks talking to characters through a screen, which somehow works brilliantly. Lisalette is pretty much the standout tsundere who actually makes sense once her backstory clicks into place, and she's one of those tsunderes I really enjoy watching on the screen. Endo and Kobayashi's slow burn chemistry is the real treat, which makes this whole show a double romance.
誰？
あなたお姉さんがいるの？じゃあ私がお姉ちゃんの代わりになってあげるわ
Kenshi Masaki gets kidnapped and dragged into the world of Geminar by shady people who want him to assassinate Empress Lashara using a giant mech. Their plan backfires spectacularly when Lashara captures him instead, and discovering that male mech pilots are basically unicorns in this world makes him her personal attendant. Kenshi then tags along to a mech pilot academy where it's all girls.
聞きたいことがあるんだけどね落ち着いたところで 二人で話しませんか？ちょっと独り占めする
The Isekai setup here is nothing groundbreaking, but what keeps you watching is, no, not the girls, it's the setting. There's something very addictive about the whole pilot, the mecha, do chores, visit an all-girl academy scenario. It's almost like watching a slice of life anime disguised as an Isekai romance anime. The harem cast actually works too, because every girl has a distinct personality you end up enjoying rather than tolerating.
はじめまして、新田さん。忍者やってる風間レビーっすよ。
あれ魔導士じゃないのか？
忍術も先生術も防虫術もみんな魔術っすよ。
Arata Kasuga's ordinary life gets flipped when a mysterious breakdown phenomenon destroys his entire town and makes everyone vanish. Using a magical grimoire left by his cousin Hijiri, his world gets reconstructed, but barely. When Lilith Asami shows up demanding the book or his life, Arata pulls a classic protagonist move and enrolls in Royal Biblia Academy instead. There, he meets the Trinity Seven, 7 elite mages who become his crew as he fights to restore his hometown and bring Hijiri back.
あら、何事ですか？あら、服を着てください。
だよな、その反応だよな。
Trinity 7 is a solid harem magic show that actually has a main character with a backbone. And since this came in an era where most isekai main characters had spinal disorders, this became an immediate hit. Besides, the story's pretty good too. The story keeps moving, every arc feeds into the next, and you rarely feel like an episode was wasted. The characters are where it really shines though. I mean, come on, 7 girls. That's 7 anime tropes right there.
どうしたのオリビアさん？
リビアです。リビアと呼んでください。ダメですか？
What happens when you force a guy to play an Otama game? Well, it's like asking a girl to watch High School DxD, so the guy falls asleep, then falls down the stairs and dies. He wakes up reincarnated as Leon Faux Barfort, a literal nobody in the game's world. Now stuck in a society where men are basically second-class citizens, Leon has to use his game knowledge to survive, and somehow solve a mystery of 2 girls who have swapped places.
撲滅でも根切りでも実行してみせますよ。滅殺ですよ。滅殺。
Look, the premise alone is gold. An isekai, where a protagonist actually hates the world he's sent to, is refreshing. Leon isn't some wide-eyed hero. He's annoyed, self-aware, and honestly kind of petty about it, which makes him way more fun to watch. The 2 girls, Angelica and Olivia, also have their own arcs and ends with both admitting their love for Leon. So, there's romantic progression for you right there.